What is going on, everyone? Hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome back to the Simply Fitness podcast. We are back a little bit. Things have been a little crazy over here. Meant to get this out last week, but you know what? That's what happens. Life. That is what it is. So we are back. And that brings us right back into it. The last 2 weeks have been crazy for me, between traveling to Washington, D.C. for a bachelor party, my parents visiting and my family, my in-laws visiting, my work schedule being readjusted for schedule changes. And it's just crazy. But what helped me through that was being able to adjust my fitness in order to accommodate my life at that point. It's unrealistic, and it was unrealistic for me to expect myself to be able to get every single workout in, to be 100% on task with my plan, and to continue to make the progress that I was making. So instead of being stressed and worried, I'm going to lose all my results, I can't get this workout in, being miserable, being cranky when I'm with my friends, my family, my loved ones, at work with my patients, I just made adjustments and I was okay with it. It's unrealistic for yourself to expect yourself to be 100% on when sometimes you can't be 100% on. It's impossible with the amount of travel, with the amount of going out to restaurants, exploring places. There isn't always the best option at a place might not be the option that helps you get to where you want to be. And that's okay, because that is life. You have to enjoy it. You could be miserable and be upset and not enjoy that moment, or you can decide to make a memory. So I made the choice to make some memories and have an absolute blast and concede where I need to for my goals, and to, when I can be on, to be on, and to make that conscious choice. So, like, for example, what I was able to do was still be able to get a workout here and there, nothing too crazy. Sometimes it was just keeping my step count high. Sometimes it was just getting a quick little run in or a little lift. It wasn't anything crazy. It was nothing on point. But now I'm back to it. This week I've been getting right back into my training. And when it comes to nutrition, yes, I was eating out a lot. And there were times where I was taking my family and my in-laws to restaurants that are some of my favorite restaurants in my new city. And I got the foods that I like. Are they the best for me? No. Did I try new foods? Yes. Was I able to enjoy it? Of course. I was able to make choices like limiting my alcohol consumption, focusing more on water and enjoying the food, because I know the food was probably not going to be the best for me, and maybe make myself not feel so great with eating out and having a little less control of it. So you got to know what options to take, what choices to make between your fitness and your life, and where can one give into the other, because that is inevitable. There's a point where maybe you have to take a step back with maybe some of your options in your personal life to accommodate the fitness and nutrition, and vice versa. Sometimes you don't have the choice with your fitness and nutrition, so you got to take that option down, and that's okay. That's the ebbs and flow of life. If you cannot create a plan around your fitness and your nutrition in order to see and be able to make that progress in any season of your life, and that could be just maintaining, and that could just be feeling great. But if you're not able to do that and use the skills you learn within your fitness and nutrition journey to be able to maintain that, I think that's a problem. I think that's not a plan that's sustainable, and that's not a plan that's going to help you to become that best version of you. It might, in that very microscopic view and very microscopic, environment right there, but once you take yourself out, that's you're screwed. And I think that's where a lot of strict diet plans And fitness plans ruin a lot of people because it's just unsustainable in a realistic environment. And that's what we have to be. We have to be realistic. We have to understand that, sometimes that there's going to be more important things in life than worrying about how many calories you're eating per day and whether or not you're enjoying a family member that you don't know, you know, when the next time you're going to see them is going to be. Like, what am I going to worry about? I know where I lie in that thought, and I hope with you can make that choice too. And it's not always the easiest choice, and I know we all have goals, but you have to be able to have a framework to work within that gives you the flexibility, to enjoy your life. And that's just being honest and truthful right there. And because at the end of the day, we only got one. We only got one life to live. We might as well enjoy it. But that doesn't mean that we treat ourselves like trash. You could treat yourself amazing and have an amazing time and feel absolutely amazing and have the best energy around the people that you love by keeping up with your nutrition, by keeping up with your fitness, and knowing when maybe you can indulge yourself a little bit more in a controlled and moderate manner in some degrees. So, like, I know I gave you a bunch of examples, but to dive even deeper, like at certain restaurants, I made sure, okay, what option am I going to go for here? Am I going to indulge a little bit more here, or maybe cut back, knowing, okay, this is a new restaurant. So, like, one of the restaurants was like a fried chicken place. They made everything in their menu was a lot of fried chicken, but they did have some grilled chicken. They had a grilled, like, General Tso's chicken that actually sounded absolutely amazing, and I got it. Instead of having a fried chicken sandwich, which I still had a bite of my wife's, I made that as a choice. It had broccoli, had rice, and had chicken. It was absolutely amazing. Where then that allows me to then go to, another restaurant and have, that fried chicken sandwich or a cheeseburger, or have that ice cream later on the night and not feel so bad. Not that you should feel bad, but like, if you do, like, you can make those, okay, I'm going to give a little bit here so I can take a little bit more from there. That's all it is. So if you find it really is causing you anxiety, is it causing you, negative emotions about the food and nutrition and your fitness, because you have something that objectively should be enjoyable, like, that's where you have to start thinking about, okay, what am I trying to get out of this fitness and nutrition? What is my why? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? And how does it work within the framework of my life? Just a food for thought. And again, I'm so glad to have spent that time. I'm also so glad to be able to now get back to my workouts, to be able to continue to take that next step in that progress, to be able to, again, live my fullest life with them, and to be able to give them the best version of me. And that includes lifting a little bit, being a little bit sore now, and that's okay. We're going to get through it. Week 2 is going to be better than week 1, so we'll get after it. And 2, there's now another random kind of thought that I had beforehand, because this is kind of that time of year where short challenges, I see them everywhere. Every single coach that I follow and on Instagram, people I don't follow just that pop up, it's that time of year where there's short challenges. We're about, at this point, 4 weeks ish from Memorial Day, so they've been going after it for a while. But this is like 8 weeks to get abs, 4 weeks for that bikini body. They're great, and it makes it sound amazing. It makes it really does sound like you can go from 0 to 100 in 4 to 8 weeks. And there are some great things when it comes to a short challenge. And I love challenges, by the way, for certain things, and I dislike them for others. One is it's a short sprint. I like to think about it as like, okay, it's May 1st, May 30th, got 30 days. What can I sprint? It's just a season where I can sprint to make progress. Be a little bit intense, be a little bit intentional. You know what I just said? Maybe give a little bit on my in the life jar, take it and put it into the fitness and nutrition. Sacrifice a little bit here so I can bring this up a little bit for whatever reason, whatever it might be. It could be for fat loss. Okay, I've been doing really great. I want to see maybe a little bit more progress at that point. And could I increase the intensity in order to see that? For everyone, that's not necessarily the case, but for some people, it is a little boost. Or maybe you've been in a maintenance phase and now you want to get, just a short little bit of fat loss, quick, intense. You have the time, you have the ability, boom. Two, it really does help create some excitement and motivation. So I like them in the sense of like, if you're having difficulty maintaining your motivation or excitement, it's starting to get a little bit boring, which, have you heard me talk about before? Fitness is boring. It should be a little bit boring. But if you want something to work towards, you want something to challenge yourself. Okay, maybe we do you do a 30-day challenge, a 60-day challenge. Maybe it's, as simple as I'm doing 20 push-ups a day. Boom. Or start at one push-up and do, by the 60-day challenge, add one every day. So now I'm doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 60. That you want to help with your push-up game. It can be as simple as that. It adds a little bit of, excitement, motivation. It just makes it a little bit more fun. And it could be as simple as that. Now, what I don't necessarily like about them is that some people think that a 30-day challenge equals like the rest of their life. And that's really what they go into it. Like, okay, this is going to change the rest of my life. I can go into it 30 days and go right back to how I was on day 0, on day 31, I can go right back to it. And that's just not the case. They're not necessarily results that are going to last a long term. Unless you have that framework and okay, I'm going to go, let's use the fat loss example. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to go 500 calories in a deficit for 30 days, see where that takes us, see where it goes. And then I'm going to increase that to maybe maintenance or 200 calories below your maintenance. Unless you understand that, that you can't sustain this short sprint, it's going to put you in a mindset where you're going to do it, you're going to get burnt out, and then you're going to go right back and resort to, where you were at day number 0 again. And it's going to be essentially, I don't want to say a waste of time, but it's going to be it's going to put you all, it's going to set you back further than where you started, because now you have to psychologically in your mind be able to take that action again. And for us humans, that it doesn't work like that. It isn't just like one day you wake up and you're like, I'm doing this right now. It tends to take a long time for us to make those decisions and to take that action. We contemplate. We pre-contemplate. Sometimes we don't even know that it's a problem yet, and then we start thinking about it, and then we think about it, and then we take action. So it's just not sustainable for a lot of people. And also with that is sometimes they tend to be too long. 90 days, 120 days. It's just it just, again, burns you out. It just burns you out. It's too intense for that long period. So think about it. Let's use the sprint as an example, because that's really how I think about them. 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters. Okay. Very maintainable sprints for most people. They're nothing crazy. A quarter mile is still a pretty short distance. Then you get to like 800, half a mile. Now we're getting a little crazy here. That's really hard to sprint the whole time for most people. Then you get to a mile, then you're just crazy. Then you're like, okay, that's not me. That's an endurance athlete. That's how you're thinking. So the longer you push out, that's like sprinting a mile versus a quarter mile. So if you're going to do that short and a little slightly intense, more intense challenge, think about it, 30, 60 days. Help you build up that motivation, help you build up that excitement, get yourself, readjusted. And then at the end of it, know what you're going to move for in that next step. What is going to be my next step afterwards? Always say have a game plan. Know the chapters and the seasons that you're going to move through next. Okay, I'm doing a 60-day challenge, fat loss challenge. I'm going to, be a slightly aggressive for this time period, but at the end of it, I'm going to move to this and have just a brief understanding of what that's going to be and what that's going to look like for you. So then okay, I'm not going to just stop and then just go free ball it and just be like, yeah, whatever, we'll see what happens, let's go. Because that's usually when people tend to go completely the opposite way, which is not that great. But again, I do love a good challenge. It can be, great for fat loss, but I really do love them for any habit, anything that you're trying to add into your daily, routine, or maybe something you're trying to cut out, like no alcohol for 30 days, journaling, things like that. Those are personally things that I've tried and have found success with. Is just like, if there's something that you want to do on a consistent basis, make it a slight challenge. Okay, this is going to be my 30-day challenge. I'm going to journal every single day. I'm going to put a timer on 5-10 minutes, boom. And I'm just going to write, maybe you buy a journal that has 30 prompts in it and you write there. There you go. So find a way. I love it. A little good little challenge. Just helps you, move a little forward, get a little excited, have a little fun. Because why not? Life is fun. That's what we're all about today. But let's get to that main topic now. Probably the reason you came here today. Let's talk about it. Why the scale lies and what to track instead. So tracking is one of my favorite things. You have to do it. You have to be tracking progress in anything. With any goal, you need to be tracking. And the famous thing, the highest thing that everybody tracks when it comes to fitness is their weight. People love the scale. She's a diva. She lies to us. She tells us things, but she gets a little crazy. She gets a little angry at us, but it's a guarantee, locked and loaded every single week. I get a message from a client, follower, friend, family member, whoever it may be, freaking out about that their scale went up. Like, that damn scale just told me the wrong number. It's crazy. And they've been doing everything right. They always do everything right. But that's not what this is about. It's not about whether they're doing things right. They're just the scale. I've been 9 out of 10 times hitting it right, getting my food, getting my workouts in. I'm doing everything. John, I'm doing everything I need to do. And the scale just went up. I've lost all my progress. I'm done. All that work I just put in is out the window. No. That is not furthest from the truth. Because a lot of us think that the scale is the boss. It is the one that tells us whether we are right or wrong, whether we are healthy and fit. But truly, in reality, it's just a data point. It's just data for us to use to help us track our progress. All the scale is doing is measuring your body weight, your total body weight. You put a dumbbell on it, it's going to measure that dumbbell. It's going to measure you. That's all it's doing. It's just measuring your weight. And body weight can massively change for a multitude of reasons. The reason everyone thinks it does is because we're gaining fat, which is true. We can increase because we gain fat. We can also increase because we gain muscle. We can also gain weight because we retained water. Our weight can also be different because of the time of day. For women, it could be because of their menstrual cycle. A prime example, like probably the most common reason to why the weights change, is the dinner the night before you weigh. Because again, most of my clients weigh, I tell them to do it first thing in the morning, right after you use the bathroom. Boom. Constant, consistent as good as it's going to get for consistency. But then the dinner the night before completely changed their weight. But guess what? It has zero effect on your actual results. Your weight, how I like to think about weight, is it's a range. It's not a number. I do not weigh 155. Yes, that might be what you tell the doctor. Okay, I'm 155. Yeah. It's really not 155. It's really 2 to 5 pounds in each direction. So realistically, you probably weigh more like 150 to 160. In a relative range, it could be, 153 to 158. But you catch my drift. It's a range. It's a range. It's not one exact number on the dot. I am this. You are not a weight. You're a person. So you weigh a certain amount. But I think where weight kind of gets misconstrued is that we tend to compare one day at a time. So comparing today to tomorrow, and tomorrow to the next day, and from the next day to the day after that, instead of starting from day 1 to day 30, day 60, day 90, instead of looking at it over time, not at one after another. Because when you look at it one day after another, you remember we got that scale. It's 153, 156, 154, 155, 154, 153, 155. Okay. Some of those days it looks like we're doing great. We made progress. We weigh less than the next day. Some days it looks like, oh my God, I must have screwed up something because I just gained 3 pounds. That's not the case. That's not necessarily the case. You want to see in the long term, is your weight moving in the direction that you want it to go? So say you're 200 pounds and you want to weigh 175. Okay, is it moving down in the direction you're looking for? Say you're looking to gain muscle and you're bulking. Okay, is your weight probably going up as it probably should in some degree? Or are you just trying to maintain it? Is it staying within that range? Is it within 3 or 4 pounds of a range? And we got to focus. It's hard to focus on the long term when it's so easy to get that feeling of short term in our mind with like that little dopamine hit of, yes, I got that weight down, or oh man, you got to take emotion out of it. That's why I like to view it as data. It has no bearings on me, my feeling, and how I do. Am I feeling great? Okay, so what? The weight went up. So what? The weight went down. Great. Okay, over time. Oh, the weight went down. There we go. That's when we can celebrate, when we see a trend in the direction that you're looking for. Otherwise, no weight. It has no effect on us. But the scale is just one aspect of tracking progress. It is not the whole entire thing. It isn't even number one. It is, if you only track one thing, weight is not it, in my opinion. It's not it. Maybe it's like 2 or 3, but it is not number one. And it's only 2 or 3 if you're doing other things. It's like the DFV. This is your primary, these are your secondary. You can have 2 secondaries or 1 primary. It's not the 1 primary, it's the secondary right there. My absolute favorite and an absolute must, and I didn't believe in them for a while, and I really honestly wish I believed in it sooner, but it's progress pictures. It's an absolute must. It is. And I don't want to hear any argument about whether why not you don't want to do it, but I'm telling you, you're going to thank yourself later. If you're starting a journey, you want to have a picture of where you start, no matter how you feel about it. And you might not feel great about it. Trust me, there are plenty of pictures that I look back and I'm like, I didn't feel great taking that, but now knowing what I look like now compared to that, I am, because I know now I feel so much better in this new one versus that old one, and I'm never going back to that old one. I'm never. And it will make you, it will make the whole process of fitness and nutrition so much more gratifying and so much more visual, because we all suck at it. We all suck at remembering and recalling both the good and the negative. We tend to forget some things over time. And it's like, okay, how did I look? How did I really feel? And it's those pictures that really kind of unlock that in your mind and helps you understand, this is how I felt. This is how I looked. Like I remember that now, and now I know what I feel like right now, and I know how I look right now, and it just helps you feel that way. And that's going to go back to a lot of these things that we measure, but progress pictures are the most powerful by far, like hands down, the most powerful thing. Now, if you can, the best way to take some progress pictures is to try to use the same background, the same positioning and lighting. So if you're gonna, like, say, like, take it in the bathroom, because that's when most people have a mirror, make sure it's the same position. If you're gonna have someone else take the photo, you know, behind the same wall, behind the same lighting, so you can kind of get the best aspect out of it, so you can visually see the best. And I would always suggest that, you know, multiple angles if you can. Just, you know, the more the better. Get yourself that comparison. You can always, you know, over time, take other pictures, know other places. And, you know, I have a whole folder that's just devoted to all progress pictures. Take it every 3 to 6 months just to, you know. And sometimes I'm not happy about it, and sometimes I am. And, you know, but you got to know where you came from in order to know where you are. Again, you got to know where you came from in order to know where you are. Because you forget that journey sometimes. You forget how much work you put in and how far you've really come. Now, probably number 2A, I say 2A, weight, and then measuring circumferences. So like a tape measure, your waist, your hips. I like, for guys, chest, arms, for both men and women, just to see how your body's changing. You know, the more data, in my perspective, the better. The more things you can measure, the more opportunities you have in order to see that change and to see the body progress and to understand, okay, how is my body transforming? And the more data you can collect in the earlier on, the more opportunity you give yourself later on to be able to see, you know, I want to say in 6 months, you're like, hey, I want to get bigger arms. Like, I really want to see how much that is. Well, now if you have the measurements of your arms already, you can kind of see, okay, what's my progress? What's the difference between my left and my right? What, like, you can be like, okay, I know that my arms are, you know, 18 inches, or whatever it may be. I don't know. But whatever it is, you at least know, okay, this is where I want to be. Now I can make a goal for it because I've already seen this growth. I understand that this is, you know, oh, okay, maybe if I do, you know, 1 inch bigger in the next 6 months, see how that is. Okay, now you're measuring once a month. Okay, how's the progress I'm making? Oh, one inch was, you know, maybe not aggressive enough, and I did that in X amount of time. Now you understand, and you can see that. Too, especially with fat loss, something like your waist or hips, the weight might not, the scale might not move for, you know, for various reasons. You know, you might just be recomposition. So you might lose belly fat around your stomach, but you might gain muscle around your legs or your arms. So if you're not, if it might deceive you in that way, where a progress photo or a measurement isn't going to deceive you as much. So though I would take progress photos, you could take it every month or every quarter, every, 3 to 6 months. Measuring, you can do that weekly, just to get yourself an idea of the weight, of the direction you're moving. I would base off of like if you do it like Friday mornings or whatever it may be. Like I know for me, like sometimes like Friday night I had pizza, So like Saturday probably wouldn't Saturday morning wouldn't be the best day. Usually a little bit more bloated. So like you got to know, okay, what makes the most sense for me and realistic for my schedule. Now a very underrated one that people don't think about too is how your clothes fit. How 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 are those jeans fitting when you're putting them on? How's that shirt feel? How do you feel in that shirt? Does it feel different? Does it feel a little loose? Does it maybe even, if you're gaining muscle, does it feel a little tight? Do you feel like, okay, and, look at yourself in the mirror. Like, does it feel good? Does it look a little different? Do I got to go add another notch to the belt? Is it getting a little too loose? Like, those are that, honestly, that's a main thing. For most people, aesthetics is part of the new nutrition and fitness. So if your clothes are fitting better, that's a freaking victory. That's huge. Do you feel more confident in it? Do you feel, from there, the weight can go scratch if I feel good and look good in my clothes. What's the number on the scale mean? I feel good. I look good. Done. Don't matter if it's this number or that number. Doesn't matter. I can move forward. I look good. So look how your clothes fit. Maybe try on that shirt that maybe you were afraid to wear because it was just maybe a little snug, or those jeans or those pants that you thought like, okay, I'm kind of busting out of this a little bit. This isn't my best look. Try it out. You never know. Maybe you made that progress. Maybe you feel a little bit better in it now. Something I like to track at the beginning of a journey is energy level. So how are you feeling? Like at the beginning of the day, end of the day, after meals, how is your energy flowing throughout the day? And are you seeing a change of that? Are you seeing yourself being able to maybe last a little bit longer in the day with your stamina, your energy, your creativity, your mood, tracking that to see how is that affecting you? I know for me, like my energy is way higher and my concentration is way higher when I work out, when I consistently do those things. So it's a good thing to just track to see how you feel. It's especially if you're maybe not seeing the scale results you're looking for. Okay, let's see how you're feeling. How does that feel? Like, do you know how you feel? And when it comes to fitness, another great one that not everyone does, which I don't, which I stopped for a while, but I'm back on my tracking game for it. Strength gains, speed gains. Are you lifting more? Running faster? Doing more reps? Like those are huge victories that stacked up over time is what's going to help you see the progress, especially when it comes to building muscle and building strength, running faster. If you don't know, okay, I ran a mile on December 5th. Now it's, April 5th. Okay, was my time better? Did I feel better? Was it the same time but felt easier? I felt like I had more. Like, if you're not tracking that, how are you going to know whether you're making the progress or not? How are you going to know, okay, I'm making the results that I'm looking for? So if you're not tracking your workouts, track your workouts. You won't remember them. I never do. I know you're not going to. It's just us. So track it. How do you feel? Write it down. Like I have this little notebook. I bring a pen. And I'll write notes. I'll start things that I'm like, okay, I can go up and wait on this. No, I can't go up with this. This is 10 out of 10 hard. I just said that the other day. Picked up the wrong weight, and it was 10 out of 10 hard. And I was like, oh, I'll keep doing it. I regret that choice. But we digress. But now I know. I wrote it down. I'm not going to remember next week. Well, maybe I'll remember that, but I'm not going to remember everything. So track what you're doing. Track how you feel. Track your anything you can with that to help yourself build a better program and to help you take that next step. So again, with all the things you can track, pick a few. Give yourself a more well-rounded view of the progress that you are making. It's going to unlock the ability to be more objective about your fitness and for you to be able to truly understand what is or is not working. There is a subjective part to fitness and what you're enjoying and what you like to do and what you feel like makes you feel good. But there's also an objective portion of it of being like, okay, I'm saying I want to do this, but this is what's happening. So if what's happening and what you want are not aligning, you have to figure out a way in order to do that. And that the only way to unlock the path in between is to track. If you are not tracking, you are not going to be able to decide and figure out what is and isn't working. It's impossible. It's not impossible. It's highly unlikely that you're going to change the one variable in a way for you to see success if you're not tracking. It's highly unlikely you're going to choose that one thing that might be messing up your progress if you don't know it. So track. It's super important. It is the one thing you have to do here. It has to be in a way that makes sense for you and makes you feel comfortable. Like we'll go back to the workout example. I write mine down in my notebook. I like to write down. It gives me something to do during my workout, and that doesn't involve looking at my phone, which we know we do plenty of. So it keeps me distraction free. I can write my notes in it. I enjoy it. That's my 30 seconds to a minute rest. Okay, now I get to my next set. Go. And I can flip through my pages and I can see, okay, this is the workout I did. Okay. I do the same workouts for, 4 to 6 weeks anyway. So I don't need, once it's in my phone and I copy it into my notebook again, I don't need that change. And it's a little journal. I can see it, my runs. I write my runs, even though I don't track my runs on there. I still write them down. Okay, how do these miles feel? What were my splits if I'm doing a long run? Okay, we did 10 miles today. I'll write down every mile. Boom, 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 boom. If I remember anything that's noteworthy, at mile 5, I, twisted my ankle, or I ran out of water, or whatever. It was, 97 degrees in 100% humidity. My times dropped dramatically. Okay, now I have a general idea of what happened, what went on there. So find what works best for you. Track the things that are going to help you make the most progress. 100% take progress photos. Again, you're going to thank me. You're going to thank yourself for that. Take a progress photo right now. Do it now. Okay? If you have any questions or need any help, please message me on Instagram or send me an email. Both are linked in the show notes. I appreciate you guys so much. Till next week, have a blessed week and keep on crushing it. Peace.